have same themes, and there are certain surahs that are not in pairs, and those surahs, they say, have lot of meaning, lot of wisdom in it. People that have done research, that have done studies in Quran. This is ayah. Surahs consist of ayahs. Ayah is not verse or a sentence. That is what, again, Dr. Isar Ahmad is of the opinion that we should not use the word words. Quran has its own unique style. Some of it is in prose form, some of it is in poetic form. So I think if it is in poetic form, that is where we say verses of poem. So that is how probably people tend to use the word verse. Some ayah have names like Ayat al-Kursi, Ayat al-Bir. Ayat could be
Yeah. So after this slide, we'll take 10 minutes break for the kids and then we'll come back again.
And then I think Brother Jamal had said for the seniors, we have it.
Yeah, if after this slide you can open questions for Jim.
So I'll quickly finish this. The ayat, it could be just bunch of words, bunch of letters, and that is the ayat. That is how Prophet taught, and that is how we consider that as an ayat. We think, but each ayat, I believe, is related to the central theme, people that have done study in it. And then we have also the concept of the abrogated verses. Like I said, it's mentioned in the Quran. Allah says that I delete those ayat and then replace them with new one. So people that do the tafsir, they keep that also in mind. Oh, this was abrogate, this verse, they had another verse and that was replaced with this verse. So they want to go into the background. And a good person who is doing a real good tafsir wants to understand the language of the Quran, the idioms, the slangs that were used, the history, when was it revealed, if it was revealed in the very early times, if it was addressing the pagan customs, and from that they infer and they say, how does it mainstream, how does it apply to our world, our life today. The two Qurans there that I have just wanted to show was that in the one on the right hand side, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, then there is a verse number 1 there. Number 1 is there. And then Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, there is a 2. Whereas the one on the left hand side, there is no verse number addressed. So sometimes people can trick, they can say that, you say Quran has not changed. Here, I'll show you the difference. There are 2 versions. So we need to have a good understanding that it's all writing and documenting. It's the recitation part that is same, that has not changed. But some people, if they really want to take you off the track, they can catch these small points and use it as a tool to make us think that, wow, what is this? The other thing is I wanted to find out was that the one on the right hand side, Iyaka na'budu, that alif there has a hamza, and then below that there is a kasra. That we don't find in the Qurans that are printed in India and Pakistan. Hamza afterward was created later. Like on the other Quran, there you cannot see there. There is alif there, and underneath the alif is the kasra. I think we are going to stop. If there is a real one good question from the youngsters, we can answer that. Otherwise, I believe we have to take a break.
Okay, let's go, guys. It's great.
No, you have to be there. I can do the first couple of questions.
Yeah, when we see that coming in.
What he's saying is that Prophet Muhammad got ideas from Old Testament, New Testament, from Sufism, from Zoroastrianism, and he concocted the Quran. Next. This is that good point. If you can see, what I think must have happened was, we have the concept of abrogation of verses. People had written down, the Prophet said that, no, that verse has been abrogated, that has been replaced with this verse. Paper was limited, papyrus was expensive in those days, so they probably used to wash and then use the same paper and rewrite. So he uses that. In the back, this does not show, but it looks like there was something written. And he uses that point to make his point that Quran was changed for a period of time. Next. the oldest manuscripts of the Quran still in existence date from not earlier than about 100 years after Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He comes to this conclusion because two of the oldest manuscripts, the Samarkand and Tokapi hadiths, are both written in the Kufi script. It in general, basically what they're saying is that the scripts were developed, and when they talk about the Kufi script, they say it developed in the 7th or 8th century. And they say that so those copies of Quran that you say go back to Usman Razila Ta'ala anhu cannot be going back to Usman Razila Ta'ala anhu's time, but at a later time. This friend of mine that I was talking to, I posed him with this challenge, and he said that I guess we have letters of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that have been preserved. We have his Mohar that has been preserved, and that has again the Kufi script. So it should not be a wonder. But the minute points they're trying to use and convincing that Quran that you have today is not the Quran that came down. Next. Okay, actually, what this is there was a scholar, Oriental scholar in Chicago, matter of fact, a Jewish person, Nebet, should be there. And she did a PhD dissertation, The Rise of the North Arabic Script and its Quranic Development, with a full description of the Quran manuscripts at the Oriental Institute. She did it in 1939. Pardon me? And Abad, okay. Nabia Abad, right. Nabia. So, again, to brothers and to the youngsters, I hope we develop some interest in our youngsters. Right here in the Oriental Institute are supposed to be old copies of the Quran. They're making such a big fuss that the old copies don't exist. And according to this, by a Jewish researcher, she is saying that they are there. But unfortunately, we don't have any funds. There is no interest. I wish somebody takes an interest and pursues this as a rebuttal, saying that here we do have copies of the Quran that existed in the 4th century. There is an Islamic awareness website. It is very much in existence. I strongly advise all of us to get into the habit of going there. And there's Dr. Saifullah. He is dedicated to rebutting. So there is this Johan Kart's guy. He is a priest. And he is asking the questions, how many versions of the Holy Quran is there today? See, the idea is trying to put that, your Quran has changed. At least 2, probably more. I'm pretty sure about the 3rd one, but can't prove it yet. So I'm not going to say where and what just yet. It is common knowledge that the Hafsa text and the Warsh text, mainly used in Northwest Africa, are different not only in the vowels but also in some consonants. The differences are small, but they are there, and both of them are for sale and in use today. Hafs is the much more common one. The 3rd version I have heard about has by far more substantial differences in comparison to the other 2. If somebody uses that terminology, and my knowledge is this little, I have got to say, yeah, maybe what he's saying is true. So there is a need for us to be knowledgeable of this. Next slide. This is Dr. Safiullah's response. It's a very long one, but I'll just read, first I'll read a sentence from the top. Safiullah wrote, "It has become a standard method of deception by Christian missionaries like Jochen Kartz to superficially project issues that have been exhaustively addressed by both Muslims and Orientalists, as we'll see soon. At the bottom line, the conclusion is, in light of the above discussion, it is clear that Hafs and Warsh are not the different versions or texts of the Quran.